In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the Lana Vex Digital Actor from Libertas Armory. This pack includes the avatar file, which is the fastest way to go about utilizing this pack. It was developed specifically to help you build out a cast of characters that are ready for all of your projects, whether you want to use it for your main character or if you want it for a background character. This is a fast and effective way instead of having to just build out every single character individually for yourself. It's going to give you a great foundation to work off of and utilizing your project so you can kind of speed up your workflow. So this project does include that avatar file. But if for any reason you want to do your own custom morphs off of, say, the neutral base, you can utilize the full body morph slider, which will both apply to the head and the body. Or if you want to break it down and say just want to use the head or just want to use the body, those morphs are available as well. If for any reason you need to use the morphs, I have also included the eyes. So this will give you that nice hyper blue look, and also the facial profile, which will adjust for any of those micro errors that could happen from doing custom sculpting on faces. You also have the full skin that can be applied to get all of these effects on there. And as a bonus item, I did include the sports bra and the underwear so that your character has something to wear when you load that up. Of course, if you like the hairstyle that you see in the thumbnail and in the demo videos, that is sold separately. That is a product available from Reallusion. It's actually in the E-Girl Hair Builder 2 pack. I personally bought the components individually and applied them, so I can take you through that real quickly if you want to see. We just gotta go into the hair and we'll click down to the individual components and you'll see I have these pieces ready to go. Of course, that's a darker hairstyle than what I've used in my videos, but if you really want that look, we can go into the Material Plus. This is included with each of the components. We'll go into that hair builder, and it's these 03 iMaterial Plus items, so we're just going to drag and drop them onto the character. And I'm looking for 03 for the hair, and the braid 03. Apply, and there you go. Looks exactly the way that I had it set up in the demonstrations. You probably have noticed that I have developed these characters specifically with the use case in mind of using them with the kind of costume, weapons, and armor packs that I have developed under my username, Libertas Armory. Specifically the double agent female pack. This is where the whole character was inspired. I had originally created her for the demonstration purposes in that video and the marketing material, and I really loved how she turned out, and I decided maybe this would be a great way to essentially add to the community and make it available to everyone else as well so they can benefit from some of that work in the background. One of the things I will note, so if we're going to use the double agent as an example, when it comes to characters that are custom sculpted like this, you may run into some issues with applying clothing that you wouldn't normally say if you were using the base characters. So each of these components that I've developed for my character like clothing packs, those have been developed based on the base models. So if we were to go into our CC3 Plus base, you'll see the neutral female avatar and the neutral male avatar. So that's where I typically generate them from, and if you were going to just use morph sliders, they can work pretty well. However, sometimes you'll just run into this various components kind of misaligning a little bit, and you'll see that here specifically on the boots. Everything else lined up perfectly, but it's just the boots that had a little bit of an issue, and I highly suspect this came just from a bit of the way that I morphed or I did my sculpting on the thighs and the calf muscles and shin for this character. You can see that the pant mesh is pushing through a little bit right here. So we don't want that, and there's several ways that we can go about fixing this. Again, this is something that can be beneficial for you going forward, even if it's not with my characters, or it could be with your own characters as well. So two ways that you can go about this, depending on how that penetration is happening. If you say like the way that the boot was sitting and it's just the pants, what you could do is you could select the pants, go into edit mesh, and essentially grab those vertices and push them inside of the boot. But because we can see here that even with the pants not applied, it's the top of the boot is clipping into the kind of lower portion of the knee just a little bit too much. And so we're going to edit that mesh on the boot itself. So I click edit mesh, and then we'll be presented with 4 different options that we can utilize. Of course, those options are going to be based on personal taste. Sometimes you can sculpt, sometimes you can do the vertice selection, or you can do element. I'm going to show you the element selection because that's one fast way to do this as quickly as possible. Again, I'm trying to help out with speed here. So I'm going to select each of those components. That shin guard, we're going to look at the straps as well as kind of the leg wrap. I'm going to bring up my transformers. And for this, we can kind of just push it forward a little bit. Let's see, that's not too bad. And then I'm going to rotate it, try to clear the top there. But of course, now we're introducing a different issue with the back. So another thing we can do is scale up the boot a bit. And that's a convenient way of doing it. Let's select that boot material again. Okay, so now everything, we got a little bit of penetration still going up in the front and a little bit in the back. So let's just scale everything again, just a little bit more. That's helpful. Okay, so now we just have this part right here, and let's raise it up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch over to the vertex mode. So this is another option that you have, and you can select that vertice. I have soft selection clicked. I think it's a very helpful feature. You can grow the radius to see where that is really going to affect. The yellow part is going to be more what's being affected, and as we fall off towards red, it's going to be less affected. So we can adjust that bias down just or right about there, and then I'm going to pull our mesh up just a bit. And sometimes what you'll find is if that vertice is hidden behind, it's going to give you a hard time trying to select it. So there we go. I'll just pull it over to the side and making sure that none of these vertices are kind of running into or now clipping anywhere else. So there we see it, and the boot's looking pretty nice. Of course, you could do further refinement if you want to, but then all you would have to do is go over and fix this other boot in the exact same manner, so I won't waste your time going through all that. So that's a simple and effective way of adjusting the components to more of a customized character that you might have, whether it's Lana Vex or if it's another character that you've developed. Hopefully that is helpful for you in the future. My name is Eric from Libertas Armory, and we'll see you in the next one.